another one. He's going to be taken down as well. Elimination comes in. However, his teammates are getting damaged as well. So now Kurt, he's going to do a lot of work himself and manages to pick up another kill. He'll pick up the revive. They hold on. And Team Kurt managed to hold on to control of this building.
Yeah, that's HRO eliminated in 16th. That's the worst place to be eliminated because no placement points. But now everyone in the top 15 has guaranteed themselves at least 1 point, which is a little bit of something to celebrate about.
This is a case of these players being able to re-shield, re-loot, rethink their next move. As we now go on board with Saw Gaming, a beautiful high ground position here, but if you look at the top left-hand side of your screen with just 19 seconds left, a lot of the play is going to be down to RPR here to make his way towards that circle to somehow get his teammates a little bit closer to the protection from that circle moving in.
You really got to be careful of all of these teams just waiting for you as you push in, but Saw, they're getting very aggressive. Moffa's just trying to back up the rest of his team here with that RE45, which is disgusting, by the way. Not enough people are using that in normal games of Apex Legends.
Yeah, especially with the Disruptor rounds, which is exactly what it's got on it as well. It doesn't have the biggest range as far as a weapon is concerned or clip size, but boy, it absolutely wrecks shields if you can put it into the right hands. And now Saw somehow have managed to get themselves into a position to potentially get inside that circle. VP still alive here, 2 players on the map, still looking to do damage.
And they do have that zip line available with Pathfinder as well if they want to use it, but I would imagine they want to save it for a desperate situation, and this is where they can pick up some kills.
What a position to be in.
Chance.
VP might have an opportunity here with 3 players in front of them. However, they've got the ring closing behind them. They haven't got a lot of cover to work with. Now Noth's going to be moving in, repossessioning. If he can hit some shots right now, there's a lot of players weak. Can they find these kills and maybe secure a few extra points? They can't, they get taken down.
And you saw the call out of, no, don't come through the portal, you're just going to be torn apart, but there was no other option. VP out, and just like that, 15 squads down to just 10 now as we move into the 6th circle coming up in 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Yeah, looking across the kill feed as well, CLG are doing a great job at the moment of holding down this area that they've held down for pretty much the majority of this game. We're going to see Saw Gaming coming under fire now. That's going to be 3 players down. They will be finished off. They will be taken out. The action really starting to pick up now in game number 2.
CLG doing their best as we're on board with nice wig, but it looks like 2 of them are down. Madness is going to fall as well. CLG eliminated in 10th position, so at least they managed to pick up a little bit of points.
It was Kick who were getting aggressive on them, and just remember in that last game, Kick managed to pick up a top 3 or top 2 finish, I believe it was, towards the end, finally being beaten out by TSM. And now you're going to see Gamers Origin a little bit quiet maybe in that first game, but boy, they weren't quiet in their first group games of the day.
So everyone at this point now has secured at least 2 points from placements. You're looking now to get to that top 5 where those 2 points jump up to 4, and then you can really look to be aggressive. Then you can look for those kills, but because you've secured yourself that 2 extra from the big jump from top 10 to top 5.
And there's a few things you can guarantee in life, especially when you're here in Krakow, Poland, and that is death taxes and TSM being somewhere in that top 10. And they're looking to close out a second back-to-back win here. If they could do that, what a performance that would be.
Just dancing around on the zip line in there as well, managing to get a couple of eyes on where people might be residing, and also trying to ensure that they have a good visibility on where they'd actually like to move to try and get into this circle. Winstrike find themselves in a fantastic point position right now with a lot of cover as well to move across to Kick here, who are trying to get aggressive. They want to get to the circle as well. So many teams just involved with this fight right now, and even Rates Q can't save him.
Yeah, he managed to pick up that kill as well. Now desperately trying to stay alive. You're going to see Peacekeeper shots coming in. I think he might have actually been finally damaged by the circle, but his teammate is here, and he will be able to stay alive, and maybe, with 6 teams left, secure a nice couple of placement points if he can squeak into that top 5.
This is the worst position to be eliminated as well. If you get eliminated in 6th, you're going to be feeling incredibly down on yourself. And just as I say that, there goes Kick. They're down to 6th. They don't get those extra 2 points, but now everyone's secured at least 4. This is where now you might see aggression from some teams, because they've got to that point threshold they're at least somewhat happy with.
G's still involved in this battle as well, and it's going to be Dummy with the Peacekeeper, but it's going to be the wingman there of Silk Thread, excuse me, who manages to land that shot, gets his shields back as well. That shot allowed him the time to re-shield. And then they're not in a great position here as the Peacekeeper shots come in. They manage to win some fights. The assists come in, the eliminations come in, and they're going to be able to keep a full complement of their players, I think.
Yeah, Genji taking out Rogue and getting a little bit of revenge.
I think Genji might be that last team. maybe that's just setting up that particular portal to try and pop back through and finish some kills.
Yeah, he has a little bit of time to go back through and heal, and then they can all go through together, but there is going to be so many eyes on that portal, so you have to be so careful when you do decide to push. And now Gen G are going to be forced into this circle. They've used so much of their utility, so now they have to rely on purely weaponry.
TSM are making the push as well. It's Gen G versus TSM on this particular part of the map. TSM getting aggressive. They're coming under pressure from behind as well. And Imperial Howl goes in. TSM, they just win battles.
They're just so good at getting in the right place at the right time. They're into top 3 now. They've been able to get loot as well, but now Windstrike, they're under fire.
Oh, now Windstrike are trying desperately to stay alive. The question is here, are TSM able to get looted up? Are they able to reposition and put themselves in position to pick up another win?
They've got the high ground and they've just jumped in. TSM are getting aggressive here and they've done it again.
Back to back for TSM. Back to back, 2 games, 2 wins. And boy, oh boy, I asked the question at the start of this game, can they be stopped? On this form, Dan, it's going to take some doing.
How do they do it time after time? It doesn't matter if they rotated early, if they rotate late, they're always in the right place at the right time. A victory with also 9 kills as well. TSM really are looking like the dominant force in this tournament.
Again, there was that one particular push, the Gen G versus TSM battle. And they all went, they all made that call, they all went, they hit their shots, they won that battle, and then they had the opportunity to push on those final 2 teams as they were making that desperate move towards that final circle. TSM, fantastic stuff from them, back to back. And I think it's time that we throw it back over to the desk now because TSM, I mean, they're feeling good.
Whatever that means. Whatever that means, indeed. Thank you so much, On. I'm going to hold one thing up. This is the only note that I needed to take.
Okay,
and the only note at all that I needed to take. Back to back for TSM. They officially, I believe, tie 7-8-9 now for the most amount of wins so far in this tournament. Can you believe it? I mean, really, odds were against them. They were fighting a Gen G squad that should have won that fight. A couple good shots came in early from Grim Reality. He was hitting bricks with that shotgun Peacekeeper. But still, some way, somehow, Hal gets behind them, makes hero plays. TSM ends up on top. Meanwhile, Windstrike is teleporting through a portal and watching it all happen. I don't know what exactly happened there.
I mean, there was a lot going on. They were getting naded by another squad, too. And that's why I think they made that call to just go ahead and push, right? Instead of trying to take 2 fractured fights, they go for the one that's right in front of them at that point. Here we go.
They're just healing up.
I cracked the path. I knocked the path. Let's go.
Yeah, right there, Windstrike were busy finishing off Gamer's Origin, and at that point, they knew that they were still healing while TSM were able to get up to full, get up to 200 HP, and take that fight with all the advantages.
Yeah, exactly. TSM's got this basically free heal after an intense fight against Gen G. I don't know if there's a little bit of like TSM luck that's thrown in there. I don't know. Obviously, it's greatly skill, but everything seems to go their way, and it shows 21 points, another first place finish, 9 kills, topping their 8 kills from the game before. TSM is showing no signs of slowing down as the best team in the world in Apex Legends.
Right now, though, I'm trying to look at all these scores, but it looks like Gen G might have put themselves into the top 10. We're going to find out in just a second, but that's what we're talking about. In this shorter format, right, where you only have 3 matches to try and get your best scores, a lot can happen here.
Yeah. And we'll actually notice that Team Fire is actually up there for this round, which is good for them because they've been trying to get their points back.
Yeah, interesting things here. Alicon Gaming, of course, FlyQuest
as well.
Yeah, 20th place. 2 teams that placed top 5 last game, both ending outside of the placement points. They only got 1 point, was a team from, I think, Kills, I believe. So it's not going to do much for them there. Of course, they're in a decent spot because they did so well in game number 1, but a little bit lack of consistency. Maybe they got a hot drop. We don't know what exactly happened, but let's see what the overall standings are as a result of game number 2. Taking a look here, of course, surprise, surprise, 42 points, 8 points away, by the way, from the 50-point threshold, which will mean so much in the championship final.
And importantly, that does mean with that performance coming out from Gen G being able to survive into the late game there, they're able to get 5 points off of placements and 5 kills, putting them at 10, and there they are sitting at 8th position now.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising though. Only 5 points from placement. They seemed like they were playing well, rotating well, thought they were going to get a higher placement than that. Unfortunately, couldn't finish. Team Fire, despite a solid game, only 7 points total to their name, so they're on the fringe there alongside Team Kurt, Alicon Gaming. Quite a few teams looking to bounce back. Team Reciprocity in 16th place. So if we want to see that epic storyline of Snipe Down playing against his former teammates in G2. We got to see a great Game 3 from Reciprocity.
Well, I don't know if you saw on the list there as well, CLG was able to squeak themselves into the top 10 right there at 10th place after having, a couple issues. So clearly that didn't hinder them at all.
Interesting. Yeah, nice way bouncing back, obviously, after Game 1, having some controller issues. We saw NRG, another fan favorite, sneak into the winners bracket final, 10th place. I can't remember what they got in winners bracket round 1. I'm not sure if you guys could pick me up here, but winners bracket round 1, they got maybe top 6, top 7, something along those lines. So NRG sneaks their way through. CLG currently in 10th. We'll see if they can sneak their way through. I know we got a lot of nice Wig fans out there, a lot of Dizzy fans. Why wouldn't you be? Two great players, great personalities in Apex. Taking a look at the replays here. Virtus Pro on screen right now. European Wonders who've been playing very well. Taylor and Off.
Yeah, these are small advantages that end up translating into the late game because Alistar losing a player there early on the rotation really got them punished later on.
Some of these shots.
Did we just hear vulgarity there? a European English vulgarity? That's great. I like that. Either way, great job from VP. Of course, Misfits, really good performance as well.
Play inside and rest me. I'm trying. There's a guy outside.
And look at that finish from Kurt. Leading team Kurt to a victory there, staying on top, staying alive. Nice job by Kurt. Meanwhile, HRO overpowered on screen right now, putting in shots.
Yeah, this is the opposite end of the fight there.
That's fine. Let's go, let's go. I'm on.
Meanwhile, this is where we saw Grim hitting so many. Look at that. The flick with the Peacekeeper to connect for 77. Great job. And I want to see this fight against TSM. In fact, let's actually take a listen and hear their communications here and how it broke down. Meanwhile, Windstrike. This is where they're just kind of, I'm not sure exactly what's happening. They're weak, understandably. Portaling back and forth, getting tagged up from up top, so that kind of explains that in that scenario. And ultimately getting taken out by TSM. And Reps just put their hands up like, another one? Back to back? Is it that easy for TSM?
TSM were able to strike at the exact right time, right? They were able to stabilize themselves, get themselves up to full 200 HP all across the board, while Windstrike didn't have that opportunity, and that's why they were able to just pounce on them like that.
Yeah, good to see some of the clips there. Something tells me we have even better clips and analysis. Coming up next, guys, we have my man Blaze. We got Nathanius on the command center, ready to break down some Game 2 action.
That's right. We had a lot of action in that game, of course. Very intense finish, some close quarters combat, lots of explosions, and lots of high-quality Apex gameplay. Blaze, what you got for me this time?
Definitely a lot of high-quality Apex gameplay. That circle ended up landing on Relay, and we saw all those teams start to fortify, but we're going to kick this clip off with Gen G, and when they really start to get some things going, closing out a few of those early kills, and we're going to watch our winning moments. So do me a favor and play that clip for us, and we're going to start to get into this one now. Now, Gen G, they were fighting hard over here at Relay during the entire matchup, and they find themselves in a difficult situation. So what they're going to do, they're going to opt to say, hey, you know what? We're just going to choose to rotate on out. We're going to rotate out of here, but all of a sudden, it's a surprise in the back corner because now you got Rogue here, and they're like, okay, this is perfect opportunity. This is where we can trap them. And what do they say? They say, you know what? We're just going to light a fire behind them and see what they do. So let's go ahead and play the clip out, and you're going to start to see Gen G get into this engagement. Feeling great. They got some kills. They're in the top 4 situation. They say, hey, you know what? We're going to get these revives, come out of here. They're going to find themselves in a position to even do some, we're going to fast forward, do some more harassing over the top. They're going to find the angle on one of these two teams here, bringing it on across. They're going to hop on over. That wingman's going to be there. There they go. Getting some shots in there on Relay. But folks, this is when it gets real, because what happens is that they turn the corner and they look straight ahead, and all of a sudden they're going to see the boys we see some kills all up here in the corner. Let's just go on up in there and make it happen. They get the nades in, the damage comes through, the knocks come through. TSM, they say, hey, you know what? You guys jumped on our boys over in the corner. We got some nades for you. Get a taste of your own medicine. TSM picks up the kills, progresses on forward. You're going to see the final fight up here happening inside relay. TSM, final few kills, champions once again, back to back.
Absolutely amazing stuff out of TSM. Not only bringing the
Absolutely beautiful stuff, gentlemen, once again. And yeah, they are the questions we're going to be looking to answer now. Can't stop looking at you. We're going to answer.
Stop trying to draw.
Can we get the back-to-back-to-back? Because that would be the statement of all statements to close out the first.
Simple answer, yes, we could, because TSM are that good. The disparity between first and second is over 20 points at this point. That is how well TSM have been performing. But also, it says something about how close this lobby is in the rest of the field. Like from second down to 10th, there are so many teams who are so closely contested, so desperately trying to fight for those placement points, but also trying to pick up kills along the way. But now we come into match number 3, teams in 11 between 20. Well, they're going to be really aggressive. We're going to see them really hunting for some kills here.
Yeah, there's a few teams who are going to be having to do exactly that. We'll, of course, get you up to date with the standings as soon as we can going into this third game. Keep an eye on that ticker as well at the top of the screen once we do get live into the game for all of that information. But again, noted teams, you can say reciprocity. Again, same situation they found themselves in the group stage. They've got to put in a big performance if they want to get into that top 10.
But we know they're capable of doing it, right?
They've already shown it once.
They've already shown it once in a slightly weaker lobby. Now this is pretty much the best of the best. And when we looked at the giants that are in this lobby, reciprocity, they are going to struggle to be able to be that aggressive against some of the best positional teams that we've seen in Apex Legends.
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the final game of the day. He is about to get underway. It's been a hell of a day. There's been some amazing action. There's only one kind of style of game I want to close it out. That is full of action. That is full of excitement. It's full of kills.
And Windstrike, you can see on your screen there. Actually, all three of them spreading out and just trying to be dropping.
What is up, my bandit legions? God Queen Tyrene coming at you live with my brother Troy. We're streaming, you're screaming, and we're all ready to open the great vault.
Run of the green at the moment. And speaking of drops, let's jump back over to the command center and the energy that they bring us to see where everyone's been dropping on the map.
Now, we see that TSM, they did a little split drop right there, and they went to go get some extra loot. They're feeling confident. They already know that pretty much they didn't qualify. Nobody can really knock them out of the top 10, so you can't blame them. But we're trying to look around and see who can stop the 3P from them. We got Space Station. They're going to be somewhat close to them, and Counter Logic as well. Nate, do you see anybody over there that's close to TSM on those drops?
I've got my eyes on it. Nobody's run into any of them yet, but they're covering so much ground. Albert Laley's at Hydro Dam, Reps went to Cage, and Imperial went straight over to Bunker Town. So these guys are very fanned out. Like you said, I don't think anybody's going to be able to knock them out, so they may as well mix it up a little bit.
They might be competing with each other, trying to see who can get the most kills at this point. I don't know. We'll see. But Onset and Gasket, taking us away and close us out.
Energy ammo here. Phenomenal stuff as ever, gentlemen. And again, TSM spreading out a little bit like we saw in that last game, kind of basing themselves around the cage as that kind of central point, but also spreading out a little bit and picking up that loot from different areas.
And you saw a glimpse of the map as well, a very southern circle, Water Treatment and Thunderdome, two very likely positions for that final circle. That will play into the hands of the teams who drew drop in those locations, the like of Gen G, who we have seen dropping through Water Treatment, the likes of Virtus Pro, who have been dropping down at Thunderdome as well. HRO, though, they've not had a particularly good start down at Gauntlet.
No, they haven't. You can see here, RKN, he's just playing Running Simulator right now, trying to get towards that respawn beacon and potentially bring his two teammates back into the battlefield and hopefully have a second run at things. But we all know those audio cues, you can hear them across Kings Canyon, and you know that there's going to be a team just waiting and trying to hunt them down.
Quite cleverly, they're not going for that closest respawn beacon because he knows there's a possibility of people W-keying behind him and chasing to try and get that final kill to knock out one of these squads. And if they've been doing that homework, they'll know full well that Virtus Pro will be looking around Thunderdome as well, and they don't want to be gifting free kills to some of the teams they're potentially competing with in the top 10.
As much as I'd love to stay with Arcane at this point, I think it's important that we maybe change over to see if there's a little bit more action going on. That's exactly what we are going to do. Misfits, one of the teams who really have been holding that W key and really getting aggressive and putting up big kills throughout the day, are going to be involved once again in this battle around Market. And for the not for the first time, excuse me, Dan, we've seen a few teams dropping around Market and contesting that loot that's up for grabs.
Yeah, we could see a lot of teams rotating through Market, to be honest, pushing through caves and trying to get to this southern area of the map, but also Team Kurt are under fire at the same time. So several different teams taking some early fights, maybe looking to be aggressive, looking to find those points that they so desperately need.
Now they're trying to find an escape route towards this little east settlement. The portal's going to be placed down for his team to move through, and surprise, surprise, I look to the top right-hand side of my screen and no surprise to see, once again, TSM, this time Reps getting some knocks. It's just interesting to see if they finish off those kills. Of course they do. They pick up that kill, TSM keep rolling. Question now is, can they go back to back to back?
It's crazy seeing the teams that are in this bottom 10 as well, the likes of Virtus Pro, the likes of Reciprocity. Two teams have shown incredible aggression throughout the tournament, and we know they can pick up kills, and that's going to be a scary factor when you are currently residing in the top 10, because you know there are sheer killers in that bottom 10 position, and they can catch you up.
Well, here comes the push, the Havoc, the R99, both going to be put to use. The Pathfinder cannot get away, and it's going to be another easy elimination here. Jules and Rowe fall, and it's going to be Alistar who pick up some eliminations on their way, and that's going to be good news for them. They need those kills to get into that top 10.
Unfortunately for Segelbert, though, that's going to be them eliminated out of this match, and they were already in 20th place, so they're going to be dropping to that lower bracket where tomorrow they will have to fight for their tournament lives.
So then, just as things start slowing down a little bit, it's the first full squad wipe that we have seen so far in this particular game, this third game and final game of the day. Jump on board with FlyQuest, a team we haven't watched too much. They've had a couple of decent end circles though, as we see this player now being respawned, and that's the difficulty. FlyQuest know that player was being brought back into the canyon, and I mean, it's so difficult when you're landing and you're pretty much naked. You've got no shields, you've got no guns. The only thing you've got is a wish and a prayer.
Do you smell that? That's free kills in Kings Canyon, and that's exactly what FlyQuest are trying to pounce on, and there you go. They pick it up, they get the free elimination, they get the free point, and they start to eat towards getting into that situation where they can try and solidify themselves into the winners bracket final. Several teams now trying to rotate towards the southern side of this map, and we see more respawns. Team Kurt now bringing back some other players.
And maybe this is an example of a little bit of added aggression to a few teams, taking a few more battles, but also being able to get out of that situation, as now we see Succubus going to make the play up towards the top of the tower here. And now they have taken control of this sidewall, and these positions are so vital, but the only issue is they've got that ring hunting them down.
Yeah, they've got to move quite a bit of a distance from Repulsor. But meanwhile, at water treatment, everyone trying to compete for these early positions, and it's TSM, yet again, trying to position themselves in a situation where they can destroy other people right at the end game. It's Snipe down who falls, Reciprocity down to just 2. TSM, they're on the hunt.
TSM have been impeccable. They have been almost flawless in their execution in these first couple of games. If they go back to back to back, I mean, you talk about favourites going into the second day, they really have to be the favourites going towards picking up that trophy and, of course, that $105,000. However, day 2 and day 3, very different days. We hear it a lot of times. Day 1, you don't win anything. Well, the money is picked up is, of course, on that championship Sunday.
A little bit of frustration, though, from FlyQuest, as it's just Zach and Lou survive. Monsoon falls, and you saw how he kind of shouted at his teammates. He didn't like the fact that he had gone down there. Maybe he thought he was lacking a little bit of support, but they should be able to survive. They should be able to get away. I don't know if they'll be able to get Monsoon's banner here, and they might just have to fight with the two of them.
19 squads still remaining, just that one wipe, so Reciprocity, even though they lost Snipe down, oh dear! That could have been bad news.
Well, didn't like that door anyway.
A little bit of redecoration going on here towards the south side of the map, but now we're going to see a little bit of the point of view of Space Station Gaming, and we haven't been able to talk about them too much so far, Dan. In these 3 games that we've seen, it's kind of been the same familiar faces finding their way toward those end circles. Really starting to separate themselves from the rest of the pack.
Well, Space Station, who really struggled at X Games despite having a lot of confidence behind them from many a fan and followers alike, However, they just weren't able to perform, and that was a huge surprise for so many. But they've been able to get to this position. However, now they get to these final lobbies where they're playing against the best of the best. It seems like they're struggling a little bit again, but maybe they can pick it up, find some kills, and somehow climb their way into that top 10 in this final and third match.
And how intimidating is it got to be, even at this point in the game where, you know that TSM are going to be taking home first place, barring a miracle. The fact that one of those banners there is the kill leader's a TSM player. I think it was Imperial Howard who's currently the kill leader. You're setting up and you're trying to Watson up, and you're already seeing TSM doing their thing and just picking up kills now.
Yeah, TSM doing more of the same, just poking in and out, baiting and switching. They grief FlyQuest. They're able to pick up an elimination as well, so that's going to be another point on the board for them. They're really racking up the points and showing why they're so dangerous, and they've been able to find themselves in this position between Thunderdome and between Water Treatment as well, where we see the circle quite often finish when it does take it towards this southern side of the map.
TSM are set up perfectly here, as you would expect. An early rotation from them again. Weren't afraid to take those fights on rotation to win this position, as we will see things slowly moving towards those final circles. We are going to see Gen G picking up some kills now, taking down Grego of Reciprocity as well, but there are some shots coming in as they're desperate to try and find that loot. However, Bangalore being used here by Gen G, something we picked up in that last game, and you can see why with those smoke screens going down, allowing them to get out of dodge.
Yeah, even though this is a really good position right now on the watchtower for Succubus, they have to move, and they still have to get towards this circle. So either they need to do one of two things, get aggressive on a team and try and take one of their positions, or just try and sneak around behind and hope that no one spots them. We saw another member of Reciprocity fall, so I think there's only one left alive now at this point, and they require a decent amount of points if they're going to be able to get into the top 10. They only have 4 at the moment. They were in 16th, and goodbye Lasido as well. He's going to be taken out of the game.
Yeah, and that's a Misfits player, one of the teams who have been impressing us so much. So Team Kurt now up on the high ground here, up on the rocks, just looking over Skulltown, looking over Crossroads. A fantastic position to be in to rain down shots. As you're going to see some of those teams who are rotating from the north and the west side of the map towards Waterworks and that lower part of the map, Water Treatment, excuse me. Fantastic position to be in to catch players off. Just the one kill to the name at the moment. They can hit some shots here, they really can do some damage.
And the thing is, all of these players can hit shots with the longbow, and that's what's so terrifying. If you even show a glimpse of any body part at that window, you're going to be tagged by something. You can't show an elbow, you can't show a shin, unless you're prepared to take some fire and also return fire on that team from on top of these stones.
So ring will be closing now. We'll move towards our third ring. 18 squad still remaining in the lobby. You see positioning here. All of the players here on Team Kurt. Zerg with that longbow looking for anyone who dares try to make a play across any open ground towards the south side of the map. Speaking of the south side of the map, we go over to Thunderdome now. Star have been chilling here for the majority of the game. And they've got a pretty nice position here where they can potentially rotate late in towards Water Treatment. You can see it's kind of just edging towards that way. Thunderdome is going to be out of this next circle, so they will have to move and reposition.
TSM are in the perfect place.
Of course they are.
They have really predicted that circle down to a T. They've definitely been doing their research, and they knew exactly where it's going to be ended up. Look, there they are. This kind of little compound outside of Water Treatment and Thunderdome looks like where it's going to be the final circle. We've seen it once today, actually. It was when we saw that incredible Wraith portal used to defend 2 doors so that the teams couldn't get in. We'll see whether TSM go for something similar, or whether we see them go for their sheer aggression at the end of the game, just to try and finish it early.
18 squads still left in the lobby. You can see really space is starting to come at a premium. Gen G on this outer part of the map where you can rotate in lane towards Water Treatment. The only problem is if you get collapsed on from that side, you kind of get stuck between, excuse the pun, a rock and a hard place with the rocks that are surrounding them at the moment. It looks like they're going to play a little bit slower and somehow get sniped down back into the battle here, Reciprocity.
Yeah, Sniped and Brex is going to be the 2 of them, but the trouble is when you try and push out and you have an idea of where you want to rotate, with only 50 seconds left, you're really going to struggle. Reciprocity eliminated, and they're going to be knocked down into that lower bracket. We're not going to be seeing them in the winners bracket final. They're going to have to fight for the tournament lives tomorrow in that lower bracket.
Gen G then finding their way towards the end game once again. Still 17 squads left, but Gen G in a decent position here. But they're not going to have anyone who's going to be coming up behind them, hugging the edge of the map. Succubus now in a battle of their own. We see the wingman shots going in, and we're seeing Gen G now come under pressure from Succubus. So it's going to be Gen G being forced to retreat. It looks like Succubus are feeling themselves at the moment, pushing in for these kills, trying to rack up some points. Maybe they're in a position here where they need to pick up points.
I mean, Gen.G tried to run out the other way, and they just got greeted by the triple take of Virtus Pro. So it didn't really work out for them, and they're desperately trying to escape, desperately trying to get into that circle. But there's the grenade to finish them off. Gen.G out of match number 3.
Yeah, just caught between two teams there, as you said, Dan Gaskin. Will be taken down by those grenades. 16 squads still competing here. You can hear communication here of Rogue as well. Again, finding their way towards this end circle. Using Pathfinder's mobility to retreat back to this little compound they've got set up. They're just inside the circle here. Rogue are in a pretty good position as well.
Yeah, both Rogue and TSM, who have today displayed incredible rotations, incredible knowledge of where they need to situate themselves in these final circles, do find themselves in 2 of the premium spots, which are both still going to be in the next circle.
You can see TSM are just having fun at the moment. Smiles on their faces. For the other teams at the moment, they're trying to take this a little bit more seriously because of the fact that they haven't got the work done that TSM did in those first 2 lobbies. Succubus now having executed Gen.G on the edge of the map and now taking that position themselves, reshielding, and maybe looking to push onto one of these compounds just outside as we see that move come in.
And it's going to be really good news that teams are seeing Gen.G eliminated. They were in 8th going into this game, and they finished outside the top 15, so they wouldn't have got any placement points, and I didn't see much kills coming for them either. So this is going to be a terrifying situation for them, as they might drop out of that top 10.
We did see that fight going down, and there are going to be players dropping as well. Team Fire going to be in a little bit of a difficult position here and trying to retreat. Urban's going to be hitting those shields, will get the kill himself. That's the Halocon player and manages to find another one as well, so they make that push. They pick up those kills, but now you can see those, I believe it was longbow shots coming in over the shoulder, and now he might be the last player alive.
Top 15 secured for everyone, though. That's the baseline of what you want to achieve coming into this game. But when you find yourself currently outside of the circle, you know that things are going to be rough from this point. If you don't execute your plan perfectly, then you're really going to struggle from this situation, because all the best teams are already in that next circle. They're already waiting to shoot you as soon as you arrive.
15 squads remaining. Positionally, TSM in a great place. Positionally, Rogue in a great place for this next move. 23 seconds left. A lot of close quarter situations here, and teams are going to have to push out of these little compounds here, and that's just going to mean death might be raining down on a couple of teams. You might see 3 or 4 teams dropping before we move to this next circle.
I mean, Halocline, Team Fire, Virtus Pro, Succubus, they're all these teams that are teetering on the edge of the top 10 that will be desperately looking to try and get into this circle to try and solidify a decent placement as well as pick up some kills. Speaking of kills, Urban on fire with an incredible shot with the Eva there. Just managed to take him down, but there's the response. HRRKN says, nah mate, you're not having that one. I've got a Peacekeeper, it's better than the Eva.
And that's the difficulty of being trapped in those tight spaces. Even if you manage to take down one, there's always going to be a teammate just waiting around the corner, and now, you know, Lax is in a little bit of a difficult position here. He sees 3 players rotating in front of him. He's got the ring closing in on him. He's trying to heal up. He's trying to get some shields. But I think he's saying a couple of prayers towards the heaven as well to maybe scrape into a top 10 placement.
So much pressure on your shoulders when you are that last remaining player and you know how desperately you need the placement. Lax tried to get the elimination there, tried to just pick up a cheeky kill, but he's found himself into a little bit of a nook and cranny here. He's been able to situate himself where he can survive for that little bit longer as Kick gets some kills, and that is SSG eliminated from this match.
Yeah, you can hear the communication there as well. Kick just saying, nice, nice, great job on that elimination. Really important at this point, not only to take those players down and secure those points, but also stop those players pushing onto your position towards the end circle. And speaking of positions, speaking of end circles, TSM still hold up inside this building and looking pretty good.
In most situations, teams are going to know roughly where the circle finishes, but TSM seem to know exactly where the circle's going to finish. Map in, map out. It's actually so incredible. In a battle royale where RNG is often questioned and consistency is such a huge talking point, TSM are demonstrating how to play Apex.
So then Space Station Gaming, they've got some distance to traverse here if they want to get towards that next circle. 35 seconds left for them to make that move as well. Only 2 players remaining for them. A zipline's going to go out here for Alistar as well. And I just get the feeling, you get that feeling in the air, that feeling in your waters that we're about to see some big battles going down between these teams.
I mean, we're definitely going to see big battles. 20 seconds when this circle starts to come in, and look how tiny that circle is about to be. There's 14 squads in a very small circle in round 5. Round 6, we're going to see 14 drop to about 5 almost instantly.
And CLG, they're all decked out in blue as they are on the stage as well. Black and blue on the stage and blue armor inside this little compound, inside this little building here, desperately checking their 6, trying to make sure that they don't get flanked, don't get taken out as we see the push now coming in from Kick Esports.
Matrix doing really well, providing some decent shots and a lot of cover fire as well. That's one elimination, but he falls, and it's now just down to Cybate. He goes down, Kick eliminated outside of the top 10.
And look who it was as well, Rogue getting involved. Rogue putting some pressure on. It was actually Alistar who managed to pick up the kills in that particular situation onto Kick. But Rogue, who have been in position pretty early here with that early rotation, are going to be in a great position to contest this final ring.
Self-revive is available there, and maybe you can get away with it if you're not going to be aggressively pushed, which they are. But actually, Ali is going to be dropped there, and you can see how Rogue desperately trying to get in on this action. Down to 9 squads now. How on earth are there 9 squads left in this tiny, tiny circle?
Well, VP somehow managed to find their way to the high ground as well. And we talked about the positioning of a certain TSM. Well, VP are doing a good job in this one as well. They've got those longbows in hand as well, and we've seen how deadly every single player, especially the man on your screen, has been with that.
VP need these points as well. They're outside of the top 10 at the moment, but high ground isn't always a victory because, of course, when you drop in that final circle, you're going to be stunned for a small amount of time, and that is a chance for the teams that you're going up against to absolutely tear down your shields and potentially finish you off.
Yeah, CLG in a great position as well, holding down the middle of the circle, waiting for anyone to pop. Around the corner, they've got those Peacekeepers, they've got the Alternators as well to try and rip shields and finish off those kills. VP, they're in the high ground at the moment, but they're going to have to traverse across some rooftops here in order to stay inside that circle. 8 squads still remaining here, Dan.
And you can see how keen VP are as well to try and pick up some kills, how they're looking at every single angle because they know they're in such an advantageous position right now to rain down fire on everyone else. 20 seconds left to make your decision. Where are you going to go? What ultimates are you going to use? Where are you planning to reside when this circle does close in? 10 to go. This is going to get fun.
Can you execute on your game plan in these pressure situations? Can you spin on a dime and can you hit your shots? TSM managed to pick up 1 kill, hits 99 there on the Peacekeeper. CLG looking to get involved, but they look like they're caught between a rock and a hard place. Here comes the push. All of CLG will fall, and it's going to be Saw who put themselves in position to pick up some kills.
Now just 6 squads as well, and they're all going to be running into each other. Yes, okay, there's several different levels that these teams are on, so they're actually staying away from one another, and there's a couple of tiny buildings left in, but Arc Stars are available. The utility is now going to be used by VP to try and pick up these kills.
And surprise, surprise, here comes TSM. They thought this is the moment to strike. Abralele comes in and picks up one of his own. He takes down 1 rogue player. VP pick up another. Imperial Howl picks up another. And all of a sudden, we're down to just 4 teams.
I think that's Rogue down and out in 5th place as well, but TSM have been able to pick up some big kills. SSG still just about in it. Only 4 remain, and yes, okay, Virtus Pro do have the high ground, but again, I want to reiterate, they have to drop at some point, and they are going to be vulnerable when that drop happens.
There's going to be another push coming in here, and the Sword players are taking so much damage. VP playing this one patient, trying to pick off any kills that come their way, but most importantly, holding the high ground as that circle collapses.
Such a good move from VP. They had very high ground, but now they just have minor high ground, which means that drop is not going to be as detrimental to them. They slightly split up as well, so they can take angles on these team. Abralele goes down. Is that TSM out? It might be. Yes, Abralele's out. That might be TSM down. We might not see this 3P.
We might not see that 3P. And Space Station Gaming, what a time to put in a performance for these 3 gentlemen on the stage. They need big points. But VP, they needed points as well. They've impressed so many of us coming into today. And the way that they performed to go out at this point into the losers bracket, you almost feel it would be an injustice. 3 squads remaining.
Longbow in hand, but how much damage can you do from it? Close range, can you hit those no-scopes as VP? Now, when I said they weren't in the best position when they were up high, I think this is a fantastic position to be in. And they should be able to secure this from this point, but it's whether they can hit the shots, whether they can execute this final circle to perfect.
You have to wonder as well, are they able to locate these players? Are they able to do the damage and then make those pushes in? They have the Arc Star, they have some explosives available to try and force these players out, to flush them out. And there's only 2 players alive here for Space Station Gaming as well. They have the numbers advantage, VP.
I mean, Space Station have done so well considering they were 19th coming into this game, and they're almost there. They're almost at the point where they can get 9 points if they're to guarantee themselves second, but these Arc Stars are going to be huge as the circle starts to close in.
Here comes the push then. They're trying to move out, and now we're going to see the battles go down. The damage is going to be done. The rift is going to be placed down by VP. They have everything going their way. 2 squads remaining. They're going to drop. They're going to look for those eliminations, and it looks like in this particular situation that VP will close it out, and they will get a huge win to close out the day.
And an execute to close it out as well. TSM were still there, finished in 3rd, so still an amazing performance. But Space Station and Virtus Pro, their backs were against the wall going into that match. They know they needed a decent placement, they needed a big amount of kills, and I think they've done just enough to get into that top 10.
Yeah, it's a very good indication of the mentality of a team. When your back is against the wall, when you need to put in a performance to get into that winner's bracket final. Guys on VP, they managed to come up with the goods there and close out that game.
And it was just their ability to save their utility as well, to ensure they have plenty of Arc Stars to throw down, because not only are they going to do damage, it's going to slow those opponents trying to get into the ring, and they're going to be chunked heavily when they try and get in that final circle. Amazing stuff. I'm thoroughly impressed with everyone in this group, but I mean, only 10 can go through, Mark.
Only 10 can go through, and we will find out who that 10 is. Congratulations to VP on that final championship banner being displayed across their 3 screens. For now, though, that's going to be the end of the gameplay for today. Dan, an absolute pleasure, as always, to cast alongside you. Let's throw it back over to Fallout on the desk.
Thank you so much, On Set Fallout here, joined with Jamerson and Glitter. And wow, what a game 3 right there to close out the day. And boy, I cannot wait for these standings to pop up on screen as soon as they are calculated. But Virtus Pro with a much-needed win right there. They played okay, pretty well in games 1 and 2. They played great in game number 3.
I mean, a lot of teams really did propel themselves forward in the standings, and it looks like they might have secured their spot in the top 10 to play it out in the winners' finals.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you have SSG out of nowhere after 2 disappointing games in game 1 and 2. A great performance with a 2nd place finish. You got CLG, top 6, most likely securing themselves a spot. So it means Energy versus CLG tomorrow, potentially. What other teams stood out?
You know what? I'm really stuck. Can I just talk about this for 2 seconds? This isn't a standout team or anything, but you and I were just freaking out. Right at the end, VP decided to do a finisher.
That is important to talk about.
For the very final kill. Like, we have to talk about that.
They didn't get the full finish off. They didn't get the full finish off.
I saw the animation go off.
The animation was going, but then they went for the thirst at the end there because of the self-revive.
Went for it, though.
Yeah.
There to something in the woods, does it really, anyways, does it really count? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Of course, a good finisher there and a good attempt from Virtus Pro. Of course, CLG with the finish. A couple things to point out. Rogue also with another top 5 performance. Consistency is key there, as we said. They placed top 5, I think, 2 out of 3 games, and did well in game 2, I believe, as well. But again, TSM doing it again. Obviously not coming out on top. I think a 3rd place finish for them, most likely, was TSM. Yep, okay.
Is a 3rd place finish like a disappointing finish?
Yeah, right? That's disappointing. And it's like 1 a.m. and they're exhausted.
Repeat. Oh. But the thing was, they still displayed that they were playing classic TSM, right? We saw that they made that heavy rotate here into the settlement, and it worked out for them, getting 3rd.
Wow, look at these shots from Bird here. I'm sorry, Bird and Logically. It's actually Logically right there. They a preemptive let's go. I don't know if you heard the preemptive let's go, but I did.
Look, it went off. It went off.
Oh, he's mad. Is he mad or happy? I can't tell. He's happy? I don't know. One way or another. Now let's check out TSM's perspective. VP's perspective. I take that back. This is about where the preemptive let's go came from SSG. And then a scream from the man with the samurai bun. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I felt that. I literally felt that from here. I heard it. I felt it. It was crazy. Virtus Pro does it. Nice job by them. First place finish. SSG looking good. And it's what continues to be SSG's kind of theme here. It's not starting very well, but finishing very well and kind of sneaking their way in each time. But it looks like we have the match standings ready. Let's go ahead and take a look and see how it all pulled out. Some yeses in the crowd. This is, of course, from match number 3 and only match number 3. 17 points for Space Station. That should do it. Virtus Pro with 18, TSM with 17. So the top 3 teams very close. Rogue with 12. And we got, of course, all the way down to CLG. place.
I told you they managed to squeak in right there at the end.
Are they going to get 10th place just like Energy did?
This is super close.
It's going to be close.
This is super close because we saw a lot of teams scrambling for that top 10. Just before this, Gen G made their way into the top 10, but now they might have been knocked out.
Yeah, that's true, Gen G. How about FlyQuest?
And
top 3 early?
What happened with Misfits?
Yeah. Wow. I mean, across the board, it's going to be interesting to see this. I think Misfits will make it. Will FlyQuest. Reciprocity certainly disappointed with their performance here as they are going to be moving on down to the losers bracket. Of course, still an opportunity to bounce back tomorrow as well. I mean, the storylines are certainly never ending.
You know, to be fair, today was a long day for everyone. For the teams that are knocked down into losers bracket, all they have to do is go back, get some sleep, kind of do a mental reset, and really think about what they want to improve on for tomorrow. They still have a full day of games that they have to play through.
Yeah, and honestly, let's find out which teams will be grinding for the losers bracket because the final standings are here. CLG does not make it. Misfits barely taking the spot, I believe. FlyQuest in the top 8. You hear the org screaming. And Gamers Origin in 9th place as well. So there you have it. Space Station with 17 points in that last game. They only got 3 in the first 2 games. They get top 4. I mean, what a turn of events here.
And the trend that we're seeing throughout all of our matches so far, every single round, is that the point accumulation has been so top-heavy with teams like TSM, with teams like 789, getting 50 to 60 points here. They don't leave much for anyone else. So that threshold to be able to make it into the top 10 is somewhere around 15 to 10 points.
Yeah. It really is.
And look at the, go ahead. I'm saying, look at the differential here between teams 11 through 15, 14, 14, 13, 13, 12, 15 for Misfits. Really, 1 or 2 kills made the difference here. What?
If you actually looked at their score from this last game, they got 1 point. That 1 point is what literally put them above those teams to guarantee they made it in.
Wow. If they didn't get that kill, I mean, I don't think they got a placement.
It was a placement point, not a kill. It was one single solitary placement point is what saves them for tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind here. I mean, you would have thought here the last match of the day would have meant so much, would have really been determined by such narrow bounds. I cannot believe how we are going to finish here on day 1.
That's the craziest part. This is just day 1. We still have all of the losers bracket to go through and, of course, the winners championships.
I don't know if I'm prepared for that tomorrow.
Yeah.
This is an emotional journey that we've been on with the players all day.
Yeah, we are following them on this journey. By the way, the 22,000+ people online, or everyone in the chat has been following them as well because, man, it has been quite the journey. Thank you all so much for joining us on that journey and tuning in as we're now looking at the replays from the entirety of this match, I believe. Not just match 3, or, yeah, I think it's the entirety of the match.
I don't know, it's probably not a lot of rest.
Worth snipe down. This is where they kind of got put in a rock and a hard place. Pun intended, because they're literally next to rock. They snipe down, works his way out, not in a good position, lands on an airstrike. That's a Bangalore coming in, taking him out.
Yeah, this is where Gen G actually gets pinched. One team pushing them from the eastern side, and I believe it was Rogue waiting on the western end there.
In now.
Yep. Urban on fire, Lax on fire, and Burt on fire. Did we see Fire make it through? We did not, I believe, right?
No, well, they had good games for good matches for 2 and 3, but 1 didn't go so well for them, and I think that's what made the difference in their ability to qualify in for the top 10.
Yeah, that'll cost you. And what about Kick? Honestly, a dark horse team. Didn't get a lot of respect to their name online based on some things that, you know, team way that they played, play style, etc. But you can't deny the fact that they performed here. I think they're a multi-nation team speaking English, if I heard that correctly. I know they're coming from Western Europe.
Got to simplify, right? Find the common denominator, and a lot of times it is going to be English. Here, but SSG clutching it out.
Look at that.
The preemptive, let's go! I told you! It was a preemptive, and he stood up a little bit too, I think. But still, he's happy. He's hyped. Okay, yeah, they understood. They're
you
good.
get that 9 points from the second placement there, right? That's huge. That difference between second and third, it's 2 points. It might seem minor, but it makes a huge difference, especially here when you're trying to qualify for the winners finals.
Meanwhile, for Pro, watch this reaction.
There's so much relief on his face right there when he realizes what happens.
Oh my gosh. I love it. I love the reactions. I love the passion. Passion is certainly unmatched from these players here competing today. Virtus Pro, honestly, I have to put VP in my top 3, top 5 in performance today. I mean, played great in their round 1 matchup. Played great, especially in game 3, in their winners back in round 2 matchup.
I've been loving them so far. I mean, there are little minor plays that I've been seeing from them that I really do appreciate. A lot of trigger discipline, knowing when they should try to go and engage and try to poke onto people. And they've been having solid performances all day long. So it's great to see that they are really showing up here. Especially, you know, we're here in Poland. VP is definitely like what an organization, when you name, you think of Poland. This isn't a Polish roster, but still, you got to imagine they have some fans here.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah, and honestly, we can talk all we want about Virtus Pro, but let's go ahead and hear it directly from them. The hype team themselves. We got the hype man himself jump on stage with VP.
Thanks a lot, guys and lady. I am joined here with Pierre from Virtus Pro. Now, coming into this tournament, you just recently got signed to VP. A huge statement, of course, being the organization that they are. You've had a long-standing roster. What's it like now having this roster and playing for an organization such as Virtus Pro here at the Preseason Invitational?
It basically feels like another family because everybody's just behind you all the way, just supporting for you, cheering for you. We have people coming to us and asking us questions, and everybody's just being way nice. Like, it's easier now because we're behind a big name to get recognized.
Now, you're on this stage not even wearing shoes. You're wearing socks. I asked you why, and you said it's because you're comfortable. And you said you're comfortable up there. The gameplay is clearly showing that. What's allowing you and your teammates to keep that comfort throughout the matches?
I would say our socks are really nice, first of all. But I don't know, we just feel like we're home. Like, this is just like playing from home. This is scrims. This is how it's going to be. This is custom games.
Now, when we came into this weekend, there were a lot of highlights on teams from the X Games, a couple European teams that were there, but VP wasn't on that list. Coming in as an underdog and showcasing the ability that you have, what does that make you feel like now that you're able to really show the world what you guys can do?
Well, for that, I really have to thank our friends and other players because we didn't get signed early, so we never really managed to show up anywhere. And we're not good at kill races because, I mean, it's just running around looking for public kills. But in the end, all of the players from Europe, they know who we are, and they know they fear us. And they respect us like that and cheer on us.
When you think of fear, you have to think about TSM. They won 2 matches back-to-back. They said it on the studio themselves. They said it's TSM and everybody else. Do you agree?
I mean, who won the first round?
All right, you heard it. We're not done for the weekend. It's the end of day number 1, but that doesn't mean the action stops this weekend. We've got a telestration. We're going to throw it over to the command center and see what they have to say. Gentlemen, it's all you.
Thank you so much, Bill. That's right. We have a few more things to look at as we wind down the day, Blaze. But at least we can say we got some fun stuff to look at for the end.
Yeah, no, we definitely do got some fun stuff for the end. Our play breakdown is something super simple, and I'm pretty sure the desk is going to love this one because they definitely going to want to see this one happen all over again. And this match, it came down to the end. Virtus Pro and SSG, they needed the points. They made it all the way towards the end. So what we're going to do is that we're just going to follow SSG on over here towards the ending part of this game, and we're going to see what they can get done here. And they're just going to hop in. I'm going to put that on there for a reason, all right? And we're just going to watch all of this play out, and I know they want to see that last and final moment on the desk, and that's exactly what they're going to get. Virtus Pro, they come in, and they just clean it up.
What could be more magical? I can't say I'm the expert at lining that up, but that was beautiful. We got to finally see a little bit of that finisher play. Of course, crazy risky.
Yeah.
Makes you crazy vulnerable, but when there's only one person left to kill, why not?
Why not, right? Go out in style, and that's exactly what they did, and we heard a stylish interview at the end as well. But that's going to be it for me and Nate at the Command Center. Rangers, take it away.
Thank you so much, Blaze. Back here at the desk to close this one out. Man, what a day that was. Thank you, Blaze, for that treat to close it out, by the way, with the finisher. I got me excited. But, of course, you heard Virtus Pro on main stage. Europe fears us, calls out TSM. That's a spicy way to end it, if you ask me. But I know there were some spicy storylines today. I want to ask you guys, what are your top 2, top 3 moment storylines, players, teams? Break it down for me.
Definitely, you know, talking to the pro community, a lot of them talked about 789, and they were a definite dark horse coming into this because, you know, a lot of people outside of the community really didn't know them, but now they are making a huge name for themselves.
And I'm going to have to say similar sentiment, but about MVP. They were one of the teams that I'd picked to do well coming out of Korea, and they did just that, making sure that they ensured themselves to stay in winner bracket all the way through for tomorrow.
I got to say, the best play of the day that never was the play by Raz, where he did like 700 damage in a matter of minutes in a 1 versus 3. Unfortunately, down one got the kill. Unfortunately, was not able to finish the other two, but an unbelievable play. So I'm right there with you. MVP looking great. For me, 3 things stick out in particular, 3 teams, 3 storylines. One, it's NRG. On the fringe in both rounds, barely making it through, but hey, a win's a win. You're in the winner's bracket final. You're feeling good. We saw Complexity get through with 10 points in round 1 and dominate round 2. Maybe NRG can do it.
I mean, Dizzy tweeted out right afterwards. He said, hey, we got 10th. It wasn't pretty, but we're moving on.
Yeah, that's for sure. Meanwhile, the flip side, not even close to any fringe, was TSM dominating as well. I'd be remiss to not include them in the wrap-up here as TSM secured their spot as the best team in the world. Hard to say not, but we are going to be set up for that beautiful matchup we talked about. It's TSM versus 789 tomorrow on the main stage in the winner's bracket final. Battle of NA versus EU, Russia versus US. It's going to be a great one, that's for sure. Let's go ahead and take a look at the schedule here and show you when you can expect that exact matchup and the rest of the matches tomorrow. You see on screen right here, pre-show kicking off same time, 1 o'clock. Set your calendar. That's 1 o'clock Polish time. I believe that's 7 a.m. Eastern time, if I remember correctly. Of course, 1:30, we're going to be jumping right into losers round 1. Of course, at 4 o'clock after that, we'll be jumping into losers round 2, and at 6:30, we'll be jumping into losers round 3. And guess what? That winner's bracket final will be the last match of the night to close out the show. And boy, we got the best teams in the world that will be competing. I'm excited for that one.
Super excited for it. G2, 789. We got TSM. It is a true collision course of some of the best teams in Apex Legends.
See, you guys are excited. I'm stressed. That's going to be an intense set of Apex gameplay.
And honestly, losers bracket run too. We see teams like Reciprocity bounce back in losers. I'm really excited for the losers bracket matchups as well. But that's going to be it for us today. A big thank you to the Apex community and all legends, all fans out there for joining us on this journey. It's been a great journey, and it's only day 1. A beautiful new format with a double elimination tournament. And guess what? We got the losers bracket Cinderella story opportunity coming at you tomorrow. Trust me, you will not want to miss it. Set your calendars. 1 o'clock tomorrow, Polish time. We'll be back with some more Apex Legends. See you tomorrow.
Does your battery deliver extra life or extra power?
Extra life. Extra power. Extra life. Extra power. Extra life. Life. Power. Extra life.
No need to argue. Versus Copper Top, new Duracell Optimum delivers extra life in some devices or extra power in others.